Okay, folks, we've got the YouTube stream up and rolling. We're starting early tonight at 6 o'clock. Many of you may have seen an advertisement for one of, how many budget meetings, Mr. Smith? So there'll be some more budgets. Were they in the same advertisement? Okay, so for those of you who want to come out and offer opinions, you're always welcome here. For those of you who just enjoy watching, you're always welcome to that too.
And our office hours are Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, if anyone wants to stop out, folks. You're welcome to answer your questions as well.
We'll call the September 12th, 2024 budget meeting order at 6 o'clock. We do a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence for all military personnel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Of course, normally we do is just go through this and see if it's coming and say pages. And traditionally, page 1 is, of course, what would be our potential income. Sheila, any extra comments before we make our own or anything?
We sat down with Rimby earlier this week, and we sat down with Barry today, and we've entered their numbers, but not these definite. I double checked the 24 adopted budget column. We updated the year-to-date actual for January through August to help give us a better final end-of-year estimate, so to speak. I'm gonna create a report that shows what motions were made to add money to which line codes after our approved budget. We haven't done that before, we just talked about it. But that's really it. It's still in the draft. It's now up to you guys. I think we have a net revenue as we've had for several years. So we're under budget at this point. That's unforeseen expenses I can't speak for. But I think it looks pretty good.
So with 310.210, this estimated year-end estimate is how close do you think that'll be? And since it's only year-to-date, it's only
What number did you say? 310?
310, 210,
210.
earned income tax current year.
And then
Yeah, that's probably pretty close. And actually, that may change depending on what we get for the rest of the year. I think we're close to having received everything, so when the Herbine rep put the formula in for that, I don't think that should be there. I think it should be exactly what the year-to-date is, maybe a little bit higher.
So what you have down is 2024 year-end estimate should be the year-to-date?
Yes, look, so.
No, hold on. Yes, I know what you're saying.
I think the formula she used, I didn't see that was
Well,
much higher.
Obviously, this is a draft, so it's just.
Correct.
So, but hopefully
Thank
that's,
you.
hopefully that's,
Yeah, if you look at the one right below it, for the prior year, it equals exactly what our year-to-date is, because that is an unknown.
and normally isn't this traditionally something that catches up later anyway?
It does, sir. So if you look at the 2023 actual, it's just over $1 million. It's $1,084,610. I think what she had done was added that and essentially made an estimate for year end of $1,146,000. So it's within the mark, but again, we'll have to wait till the year end to make the final.
Yeah, we
There
can
are
get money for
variables
that
that we
all
don't
year.
control.
That's not like it's not the same as the LST, things like that. This is something we'll get throughout the rest of the year. We don't know what the number will be. That's why it's, you know, the year-end estimate, I'm always very cautious with that year-end estimate.
Yeah, oh, you can't go for.
Yeah, I don't wanna overestimate the revenue.
Now, 331.110, the local police fines, did Rimby think that would go up, should go up since the proposed budget is 17,000?
No, we talked more about his expense lines, we really didn't look at the revenue lines. I was more concerned that our adopted budget, our year-to-date was accurate. So some of the revenue year-end estimates are a formula, like I talked about that other line, but if you look, some of them are exact. So those are the ones that I was able to look at and say, hey, this isn't gonna be much higher. We don't wanna see potential revenue we're not gonna get. That's not helpful for our budget process.
What was the formula for the police fines being increased?
Well, she probably divided it by 8 months and then multiplied it by 12.
When you say she,
Our Irvine representative who assists
Correct.
with the development.
her name is,
Jean. Now, the other thing I'd like to bring to your attention, depending on what kind of training our chief gets his officers, that could in fact increase. So weights and measures, we're able to send an officer to that. Those are significant increases in penalties and fines through that. So that could also have an impact on that number in the long run. But right now, again, that's.
And as you said before, Richard, if you look at the 23 actual at 16 and you put it at 15.
And I guess there's no chance in 351.012, any police grants sneaking in for anything, or any grants?
Well, we're waiting on that 108,000 for the 2 vehicles. That's all I know of at this time.
that's already been approved or is in the pipeline.
Correct, we're just waiting on the money.
What grants have we applied for, or do we anticipate applying for in 2025?
That was something we have to talk about with our chief as far as the police is concerned.
So forecasting out or projecting out, we don't have any idea on what might be available.
At this point in time,
Yeah, because that's
it's
easy.
the early part of the budget process, so that's something that we'll
Well,
have.
I'm not talking about the budget, I'm talking about what might be available for us to get that at some point. You know, even if something's not in the budget, if we don't know what's out there, it seems like there's been a real grinding halt to our, interest in obtaining outside funds. I've got some concerns with the ARPA funds too. We can get into that at some point.
But yeah, so, and yeah, that's always, the grants are always a nice.
We'll make a note to sit down with our acting chief and have him look into some opportunities.
Anybody else for this page one? Since this is really just investigation for the most part there. Now, 362.410, the building permits, this estimated 112. Is there things going on where it would be that much to think?
No, that's again the formula, because it's looking at the actuals for 23, what our year-to-date is, and making a projection for the year end. So that's nothing that's in writing, or we haven't received a whole bunch of permits that aren't in here. And then if you look, it's also, that's tied to that expense line for Technicon's permits. The 4, I believe was. Actually, I think it's before this. 413-101. To date, they've been paid $94,000. And that's for code services, 413-101. And then the permit lines, the 410, any of the permits, 415, 420, 425, 430, all of those numbers offset by the expense.
Question, Chris.
We have the developers biting at the bit to build 53 homes. Good guesstimate would probably be, he'll probably look at trying to do 26 this year. Is that factored in?
26 before the end of this year?
No.
Or are you talking
You're
2025?
next year.
25. At this point, no. I believe the only permit they've pulled at this point has been the permit for the model home. So,
You truly believe
We can make a
it's gonna
note
be that
to-
many?
What's that?
You think you truly believe it's gonna be that many?
Well, yeah, that's what they keep selling. I mean, but they've been talking a lot, but, you know, that's what they've been saying.
They could say
We
a
were
lot.
holding them up.
But we'll see, I mean, we'll have a meeting on Monday, so we'll see if there's anything. So, now, Rich, I have a question about 380.006, which is a dire quarry, any potential, of course,
So I did actually have a conversation with Bill, who's the local manager for Dyer Quarry. Actually, took some time with him 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, to go up and review quarry operations. Actually, very, very interesting, and I encourage you to do so if you had not already. So I believe that is in the works, and he spoke to Jim. So we just need to sit down with Jim Anderson and see what he'd like to do. One of the things that did come to the table was potentially, and we talked in the past about an additional backhoe to replace the one we had. So that could be something that works as well. But at this point in time, there's nothing final.
so right now that's staying zero,
Correct. And I think last year it was not till probably December that we had the conversation with Jim, and so it was the early part of 2023. And I would suggest that may be what happens this year, the early part of 24. It will probably be the early part of 2025 that we see anything.
yeah, cause that would be nice.
Absolutely.
And then with inflation, that would be nice too.
Absolutely. Not sure how that inflation calculation works on those, but
Yes. Anything else on page 2, anybody, thoughts?
Well, we're gonna do the stormwater.
one thing to get back to that, yeah, so,
Stormwater fee, 362,455.
so one thing we are in 362,455, go back to page 2 for just a moment. I wanna make sure this popped in my mind as we were talking about stormwater management and some other things. So we do need to plan for those homes in Quaker Ridge Phase 5. As they come online, there is a stormwater agreement that has now been recorded. So we need to establish the mechanism for collecting that fee, and that'll go in here first.
Which one was that, 362 what?
455.
455. So you're gonna see that that's gonna go up. I haven't put anything in there yet until we make our final determination. It's gonna be more than just engineer stormwater review fees at that point.
Aren't we already collecting some of that?
No, what has happened, they've just been recorded, and what will happen is, now that they've been recorded, we need to establish a mechanism to collect that fee, it'll be an annual fee. What has happened is Greg has actually put money into an account for that, and essentially started the process, and then that fund will be then utilized to.
I thought we approved that several years ago, and they were supposed to start paying it.
It's not my understanding of that process.
I mean, it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, he just gave us money in the stormwater, it's at least $60,000.
Yeah, I thought the understanding
He's
there
been
was
saving
regarding the.
everything.
I'm not sure.
That's already, he's primed that with funds, and that was the agreement, and that was based upon when that actually came to recorded. So once now recorded, it's our responsibility then to establish a mechanism to start collecting that fee. He's already essentially put in and that was actually a sliding scale upwards based on how long it was until Quaker Ridge Phase 5 was complete. I want to say it was like 75, 60,
It might have
75.
been, I went over it.
We'll have to go back and look. Essentially, he paid the fee in lieu of them paying the fee until the recording was completed.
Well, then on page 3 anyway, the total revenue, you know, who knows, of course. You got your projected versus proposed versus what it was for this year. So even proposed and hopefully projected's correct, and you get that extra, what, 400,000 compared to 1.4.
We're hopeful.
And then we're doing the whole expenses now. And for the most part, we always say a lot of this stuff initially doesn't change because it's insurances.
State tax, federal tax, postage.
You know, your phones and dues and why did the contracted services 400 go down? It's been going down.
Well, I think that's only the Irvine rep, where before it was the Nell. And I think there's something else in there, but I'll pull it to see what's all in there.
Yeah, just curious, let me just make sure. Yeah, that first, so the 400 section there, 400 legislative body, I mean, I don't know what would be different there, I mean, I'm assuming the website fee is the same, and you got just all this other stuff, is your insurance and everything.
And then for Rich's line, I put notes in there because when we first looked at that, I was like, oh, what the heck? But it also included Orwig and his buyout, or his payout, whatever you wanna call it.
Back up 400.502, the manager bond,
Insurance bond.
insurance bond, why are we zeros?
Is it down under his line maybe? Cause we did do that in 24 for Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott. I'll have to see where it was coded.
Actually, one thing that did come up as part of the conversation and as part of the audit review. So when I was originally brought on board as the assistant manager and then became the interim manager, the recommendation bid, I think this is why we did not put the numbers in yet. They recommended bonded in $2 million. However, Mr. World was under a $1 million bond, and when the insurance company processed it, that's how they processed it. They processed it directly
As is.
equated to Mr. Orwig's $1 million bond. So the question I think for you is, do you want us to look at this for a $1 million or a $2 million bond at this point? I'm currently under a $1 million bond. We can.
And what did Barbara say about it?
No, she had mentioned the fact that that was not in the resolution appointing me, that they had requested a $2 million bond, but we only ended up doing a $1 million bond, which was again equal to what Mr. Orwig had had as the manager.
And was it 1 or 2 year? Cause that may be why it's 0 for going forward, but there still should be something.
We'll
in
have
the
to check
year
that as
date.
well. There should be.
I'm wondering if there's another line. Let's see.
So you're telling me you're proposing a manager's salary in 2025 of $116,000, is that what you're saying?
No, sir, I believe what that was mine plus Mr. Orwig's and an increase on top of that.
Correct.
So
this each
that's
year.
what we need to change there. That's why that's
So what
calculated in there.
salary are you looking for in 2025?
We really haven't done the.
I'm addressing,
Sir, I haven't really considered that at this point in time. Fact matters, that's a decision for the board to make on where they see that.
So in that line with the manager's salary, then, so the 128,306 is both Warwick and him.
Correct.
But then the next line was factoring all of it, when in reality it should have been doing the year-to-date.
you look in the notes next to that, there's a thing that says after RH plus 4-weight
Yeah.
dash 4% increase, the increase would be 3,120 plus his was 78,000. That's probably what we would put there once we start working on the employee lines. We just did the, the police and public works and the revenue.
Well, I'm not sure why we would have anything in a 2025 proposed draft budget mentioning Warwick.
That's to explain the 2024 year-end estimate, why it was
So
so
the
high.
2024 budget
Because it was only
notes.
budgeted for 78,000.
Okay, I guess I just don't understand what
We
proposed
understand
budget.
that.
Excuse me?
I said, we understand that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, cause the way it looks like you're putting 25 with,
Correct, and that's not the case.
but that's related to the year-end estimate, that's a comment based on that. It's not a comment for the last year.
Question out there, please.
I don't have copies, so I don't know exactly what you're looking at, but for the manager, there was also insurance figured in for both of them, which elevated those numbers a little bit. And you're not even taking the insurance, are you, Rich?
That's
No.
correct.
Yeah, and that's down here as a 0.
Oh, yeah, well, you can't do that, because.
No,
you have
I've
to
never
budget for
opt
it.
out.
He's in the medical opt-out for the 4,000.
You could change your mind tomorrow, and they're still on the hook to pay it.
Oh, you're saying that should be in the budget line?
It should be in the
case-
budget line item, even though you know that you're not gonna use it.
No, you suspect you're not going to use it.
Right, you suspect you're not gonna. People's circumstances change all the time.
So we can move the 2024 adopted budget, just move that there, and then move that to 2025, or we'll have to make the calculation for what it is.
Now, a lot of this other stuff, of course, life insurance, all that other stuff, is gonna be pretty. Now, I'm assuming people now on page 4, the education training, which is 401 dash, or 2700, that's just in there to be in there. 1700, which you use none of it.
Under, 401, yeah, 700, we did use a slight amount of that actually, so that, I don't know why it didn't get coded there. That should have in fact been coded there. There was a very small fee with regard to the training, with the manager's training. Are you talking about 401, 700 education
Yeah,
trainings on the page?
Yeah.
There's a small fee that's there. I wanna say that was about 125.
I thought so too.
And there are some other classes that obviously would be beneficial for the manager, so I'll look to utilize more of that this year. I don't know, 1,700 might be a bit high, but again, you can look at that.
Well, so there's.
I think it was coded under the 400 212,
Okay.
so that was under the legislative body. And it's 250 year to date. But it should be under the 401 700 because it was you. Okay.
Educational training.
And then we got, of course, other things on page 4. And of course, the insurances won't change. Then I guess it's also the salaries here as well.
I wouldn't be in favor of, any increases at this point,
Now, is that for
all of the above.
everybody?
Certainly pending, the job evaluations, again, of which no supervisor has attended. It has been far too long that the board delegates its responsibility or doesn't fulfill its responsibilities, particularly as it relates to the personnel. That's my position.
Now, Sheila, the health insurance increase, that's part of just the normal 5% increase for health stuff, is that just?
Correct, now, I'm gonna use our insurance information to maybe make that tighter. That's my plan. But again, like I said, we only had time to review with 2 departments.
maybe some better supplies and everything else there, and I guess the solicitor, that's gonna be, who knows, I guess, right?
Well, Chris, when we hire someone at a higher hourly rate than their predecessor, and we budget the same amount, it's not realistic. We got a solicitor that has conflicts, we're hiring multiple conflicts counsel. We have a higher hourly rate where we had to amend our fee schedule. We simply spend more money than we need to.
But are we gonna address why we had to change our solicitor?
We simply, certainly, we can address that.
Well, the thing is,
She'd like to address something.
we're dealing with the budget.
Well, no, wait a second, we have an employee that
We are
wants to
complaining
address.
about an increase in rate that was caused by what your behavior was.
So you believe, no, wait a second. I think I have a right to respond to that.
Does other people have rates too?
Absolutely, and I heard what you said. You've made an allegation that somehow I've impacted our solicitor's resignation. Now, I don't believe that. You wanna continue to interrupt, or are you finished? If that's a yes. I don't believe our solicitor had done the job. I can give specific examples of that, Mr. Chairman, if you would like. In fact, I've got real concerns. That solicitor chose to resign. And that solicitor, I think, was not certainly doing the job that I believe he was both capable of when he was hired and was, I had high hopes. But that was his decision. And again, to restate something that I said earlier, when we stop hiring our friends, when we stop circumventing the system, vetting people, when we start supervising people, including getting copies of emails, getting things timely, instead of all the last minute stuff, then we will be progressing. Now, I can expand on that,
No, well, then
you know, if we'd like to.
Well, with this
I
line
have a
item,
question related to that.
Sure.
You said stop hiring our friends. Who here was friends with
I didn't,
Eugene Orlando?
I used
You
that,
just said that.
I used that globally, absolutely I said that.
Well, who was friends with Eugene
I don't know
Orlando?
that anybody was friends with him
Okay.
per se, but
We
he
just need to
was,
be
he
clear about
was,
that. We're making allegations.
well,
that
it's
aren't
not an
true.
allegation,
It's
I
an
believe we're friendly with Gene. And I believe he was our solicitor for our zoning hearing board, and I certainly,
I didn't know him from the guy on the road.
and if you remember, when the position came up, when Mr. Hartman decided to resign,
The allegations
I-
are getting tiring, and
Yes.
I'll be
Hold
addressing
on, Harold has a question.
I think Joe is about 10% higher than the last list.
Well, that's what I was gonna say here, is like, then what's the thought on what we wanna increase that line item to? We have 40, right now it's year to date is 16, it's projected end of year 20. And, you know,
I mean, I would definitely do 10% plus, whatever you guys know that might be in the line, extra work you're gonna have to do.
yeah, so, yeah, that should go up, it's just debate is what number, right? Doesn't mean we're paying it, but still. And does it go, cause you look back in 23, we adopted the budget as a 60, and then we went down 40 for 24. So, do you go back up to 60? You know, and that's the whole point of being here, so we can pencil it in if you want, and then we can change it later if we need to, if we find out other information.
So it was 60.
Yeah, and then down to 40.
It was, and if you look at the total legal fees and solicitor planning costs and everything else, in 2023 actual was just over 51,000. So, you know, in our 2024 adopted budget, we looked at 51,000. Our year to date, and you look at the year end estimate right now is around 33. I think that is gonna go a little higher, and maybe you should plan for that. So I think your proposal at 51,000 is on the mark, but again, there's no harm or foul for us to increase that to 60, and have some room in there.
Yeah, and that's what it was in 23, it just went down in 24.
Yeah.
Correct.
Keep in mind, if the sewer line goes through, she'll have some additional work to do with some land acquisition and stuff like that, so I don't know what that might or might not fall. As I recall, we ended up spending like 20 grand in and legal fees for, right-of-ways and stuff like that out in Geigertown, so.
And that can still be changed. This is me.
Right, and then, and who knows, and then that might be also included in the grant.
I was just gonna say, would some of that maybe be offset by the grant
Well,
and the money that we're putting in
As
to
I
match?
recall, when we did it, land acquisitions were not permitted to be a part of a grant.
So just keep the engineering.
We had to pay for the land,
Okay,
and I think each township kicked in like 50 grand apiece to cover the land acquisition costs and, right of ways.
And that might actually be a good baseline for us to go back and review to see where that comes in.
And like I said, you have no idea, it depends on how cooperative people are or not.
And I guess really the other one under the law, section 404-200. I mean, in a nice way, is anything really going on for planning right now? I mean, you got, you're budgeting for 10, it was 10,523, you have, and estimate 24-12, and we're at 12 now, so, I mean, right now it's quiet, so would you still increase that back maybe to 12, since we're spending 12 this year? And 23, it was 12,507. Alright, so we can change that to 12, assuming everybody, that's 404-200.
got it, thank you.
And of course, now here, this other stuff is mostly either areas as insurances. If that's gonna be discussed in some of these potential hires and stuff. Go to page 5. Now, how does the electric company work for municipalities without any change in their rates? Do they tell anybody ahead of time, or they just do it like everybody else, or how does it work?
So, this is where things get a little complicated. So when we hire on to a broker, very often in the early part of that brokerage, the fees are much reduced. But where they pull in increased fees is on the back end of that. So it usually goes above and beyond what the kilowatt hour rate is, the standard kilowatt hour rate for any supplier or any local supplier. And that increases over time. So it's one of those where I think we have to be very, very careful when they lock you into that, obviously into a contract, because they're gonna, at the end of the day, they wanna make their money out of that as well. So in this particular case, we looked at where MedEd was. We're gonna have to look at what MedEd is through the year and make an estimate based on their current kilowatt hours, and then we can go back and make a comparison with a broker. Or again, I want to caution us, because the broker will raise their fees over time, and that's not something, we'll be locked into that at that point, so.
Now, we
It
just
comes out fairly even.
finished with one, and this is our
Correct.
first bill without a broker, or without a supplier or a broker, and, our general was almost $200 less. I think sewer was $100 and some less, and, so it's a little bit less, but we don't know without looking, like Rich said, to see really what's the best, deal to have a, supplier or not.
And one of the other challenges here is when you do have a brokerage, once they start raising their fees, when you end the contract, then you go on to the local rate plus, so they're getting you both coming and going.
So we're hoping it's gonna continue to go down, but he's gonna look into the kilowatts versus the suppliers, like what MED's, they have all those things.
How does the year-to-date compare with what was budgeted? I would imagine we're over what we budgeted.
No, it's a year-to-date for electric, year-to-date is 3,227, and adopted budget was 3,738.
So we will definitely be over that by.
Yeah, I
We
think
will,
so.
not by a lot. I think our estimate here, Harold's just.
And that's just one account.
Right.
That's just Adrian Town Road.
It's
Right.
Adrian Town Road.
Yeah, so the other thing is that is when you go brokering, you have to watch, because some of them have hidden costs, whereas if there's a disaster somewhere, they add an extra percentage on to cover that.
Correct, to have caveats that we need to read the fine print very, very carefully. I can come back to, I was correct on that. So you have an outage in Texas, and they're pulling power from elsewhere, and we're paying the costs on that. Sometimes it's not in the first year of the contract, it's, year plus one, you have to do the following. So, again, you're getting some great rates early, but it often catches you.
So that's another moving target.
It is, and what I'll do is I'll take the current net ed rates and I'll make an estimate based on, a year at their current rate. Again, that can fluctuate, obviously, that's out of our control, but, going to do that, I think we'll come up with a better number.
And for repairs and maintenance, there's nothing major that would be beyond $5,000 there?
Well, I know the police were looking to do the drive it on the outside of the building, I don't know if we
Yeah,
ever
this is
got a
the
price.
I think he's looking at the 8 million.
Yeah,
Go for the
I'm
Newtown
still
one.
on Newtown Road.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm looking at,
I thought you were right before.
now 406, 106.
So one thing we have not actually had done in some time, we had the HVAC contract, we need to go back and look at that. So, the HVAC contract was let lapse. So I've reached out to them to find out what we're looking at for the annual, and that will also give us a better number there as well.
And Chris, that might have been one of the things that were under the 400, remember how it was lower? That might have been one of the contractors under there, I don't know that it was under the repair and maintenance, maybe, I'm not sure, I'll have to look back.
So within this budget process, the other thing I've done is, and I've taken the DCD chart of accounts, which is what this is based on, and started to look through that to see where there are disconnects, and see if we can make revisions to make it accurate across the board.
Yeah, I'll ask Jeff this one, from 407, 101 for the software maintenance agreement. Is that reasonable since, I don't know.
And we're
Didn't that
over.
Right, didn't that include the additional
Computers and
laptop
stuff.
computers that?
It did.
Right, so I think that's
Yeah.
the sunk cost, so we're
But you may wanna,
absolutely.
Do you think the 16's enough then, cause we did lower, cause we already got the laptop, so that was an expense that would continue. Is there anything else that you think we should?
but wouldn't
Plan for-
wouldn't the maintenance agreements be, that was just hardware, right? So wouldn't the maintenance agreements be, on a yearly basis?
Oh, all the, systems, network, all those, yes, I know what you mean now.
All the new software for
He
the.
has sent us that, we didn't have a chance to review that prior to this meeting, so that is one of the things that I'll look at, and
Yeah.
we'll sit down. We'll
$16,
get it.
we might have to increase a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
Just double check that.
Is there any harm in looking for other vendors? Putting things out for proposal instead of just assuming increases, something I echoed last year.
I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that does that, man, I don't know any names.
I mean, we could do that with a lot of stuff. We could do that with security, we can videos, cameras, we could do that with computers, we can do it, yeah.
All
So
of
yeah,
those.
we should bid out everything.
I mean, I don't know, and you probably know data people, I don't know data people, I don't know security people. But if you wanna,
And it takes time, if you
And we
decide
should
for
look at it all.
January first.
We're gonna look at one, we look at it all.
Okay.
I don't know if, yeah, I mean, why not? I mean,
Would the board like me to take a look at, which ones I think would make sure we can make a good list, that's something we can bring
we have a list,
October, probably a little bit late, but,
we have a list by Tuesday?
okay. We can go to work on
We can
that.
put together a list and, yeah.
Yeah, see what else, I don't know, I mean, what do you think, would you say everything would be, engineer firm and all firm, go read it?
Made a note to RFPs to our.
I don't know if we're just talking like systems and
Our notes
building
for-
stuff,
for
or if we're talking everything, I mean.
Are you talking about everything?
I would get it there.
So
I put
everything,
the solicitor out for bid again.
and engineer and code and
Yeah.
security and,
Security,
IT
IT.
and-
Auditor,
and what?
auditor, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of our other vendors that we have that changed,
Yeah, why not, I mean, that's whatever that is, I mean, whatever we can come up with a list.
the others.
Oh, come up for a list for Tuesday.
SEO, that's different than the permits,
Yeah, we'll just, see if we
but
can
it's
come
up
up
to
with
you
a,
guys.
we can come up for a master list for Tuesday, right? see if everybody can think of maybe this one. Yeah. Oh, of course, the 408, most of that, because that's Allegheny Porter project, and some of that stuff, that's, nothing's there for that. And you do want, maybe I should put in here why you think the cost of gasoline 49201, your little formula for that.
Yeah, I don't know that we need 30 there, cause it was only 29 in the actual, and the projection for the year is 17,590. They seem to use more diesel.
I don't know, I guess it all depends on what kind of winter we have, if they're out and about all night, right?
That would increase.
We didn't have any of that for the last how many years, right? Just for here and there, but there hasn't been really, there hasn't really been a 3 AM problem in trucker roads beforehand. No, and I guess that's the other question, the 409, 500 here, the 20,000 for this building.
Yeah, that to drive it.
So I sent a quote to, our acting chief, I'm gonna say that quote came in at, since they've done some work for us previously, they did painting work down the park, I think that came in around 14.5 or 15, somewhere in that range, for the drive it and painting, cleaning the building as well. Also some work on the back garage, or some sanding, grinding on the back garage, where it's pretty rusted out, doing some repair work there, and doing that as well, so.
Was there anything up? You already got your hand up. Was there anything else, Harold?
That's actually not a bad price, because the guys that had looked at it were much more than that. And the only guy that had was reasonable, didn't want the job. So, that's really not a bad price, including the painting, so.
Okay.
You say 12?
No, I said about 16. He said he's around 15, 16, somewhere in there. It was, we'll say 16 on the upper end.
So, now we made a different section here, police department, which of course, I don't know if we just, because we only have 15-20 minutes until we should stop here.
And
because-
Jason and Barry will be here for the next one.
And then we can pick up there and then add on if you've updated anything for what we talked about, found anything, because I don't wanna start something.
I wanna point something out before you close it. If you look at 406, 400, underneath of it, it says 409, 900,
You had 406 what?
400. Look right underneath of it, it's saying 409, 900, that's not correct.
Capital expense, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look in the system and check that to make sure it's not something in QuickBooks. I had noticed that before. I wanted to say something, cause I don't believe it belongs down in 409.
No.
I think it stays with the 8 Town Road building. So I'll correct that. Alright?
Alright, now. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn at 6:42?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye.
That's it.
You guys know Kristen Mills is over
Say it again?
Kristen Mills, our governor of South Dakota.
This one?
There's two of them.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
one. That's it.
He's over in Morgantown, that's pretty cool.
I have a hard time not speaking up when people are disparaging because I don't deserve it. And I'll keep speaking the truth.
And I did, and I sent an email. You have with you. It was, I think, wait, what's it? maybe we'll do a workshop. A copy of the resolution that goes with it. And plus then there was one she had redid, and I thought I sent that to you too. You know, I have to see if I sent, it's basically the same thing we got, but it's just different words.
Okay.
I just wanna, get it.
So keep that in mind, sir. Keep that in mind, sir. Alright.
Alrighty.
Paul, you're doing a fabulous job, we're glad to have you.
How are you, sir? Good, good. Said Christy Knowles over in Morgantown tonight. I would love to be over there to listen to her. There's somebody, I think the governor of North Dakota.
Okay.
Isn't it, the Christy Knowles in Morgantown tonight?
Yeah, yeah.
The governor of South Dakota. At the car, at
Automall.
Automall.
They called it, they named it something else now,
Well, no, it's in between that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's in between, it's like Morgantown Event Center. Is that-
Between the Holiday.
Yeah, between the Holiday Inn and the
And the Automall. Yeah.
It's the one wing of the mall.
Right, yeah, same building, but.
The furniture store.
Yeah.
I remember when I was first married, I went over there and it was a full-blown mall.
Yeah.
I had my friend a fur coat over there. It was meat bellies. It was like, I was so proud of it. You know, like we were first, you know, I've been married 40 years, so it's 40 years.
And now the dog's on.
I don't even think, I think the kids wear it probably. Yeah.
That's great.
And I remember, like you could buy everything.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown mall. Yeah.
I vaguely remember like the food court and
Yeah,
stuff. Was
yeah. I tried it, I go over 2 or 3 times a year, like on a Wednesday night when it's open, and walk around look at the cars.
They're pretty
It's
cool.
like your own private car show, you know, oh my God, there's stuff in there.
There for a while, you just doing lunch.
Oh, yeah, on a Wednesday night from 6 to 8, it's open, and I have only ever seen like 6 or 7 other people.
Really?
Yeah, the whole place to yourself. And they have cars, like the last time I was there, they have stuff from $10,000 to $900,000. You know, like they had the Batmobile over there.
Wow.
And like they had a real show, you know, one that was made out of aluminum, you know, a real,
The real.
yeah, a real deal. Yeah, it's great.
Did you ever meet him?
Who? The guy that owns it? I have met, yeah. He's like a old
Looks like a
hippie.
hobo.
Yeah, he's like an old hippie. Yeah. He just happens
They're
to
full
know
of holes, long
the
hair.
most King of Prussia. That's what, or Valley Forge, I guess is.
Well,
his stuff.
Oaks.
Hey Ryan,
Hey
how are
guys.
you?
Good, how are you?
Oaks, yeah. He owns the convention center.
Yeah, he
Well,
Goodrich
he owns
building down there.
he bought Robeson out here.
Oh, yeah?
In Reading.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were doing shows and all that there, right?
Yeah, we he's got a bunch of nursing homes too.
Yeah.
I think we went there, we took my son, maybe, like 12 years ago now, we took him out and we had like a dinosaur show or something out there.
Yeah.
You know, there was all the electronic, like
Yeah.
that's last week.
Yeah.
That was for you. Good, how are you?
How are you? That's
Pretty cool.
Hey,
You look good there.
Good, man.
Thank you. He,
End of a day.
he went on to
Yeah.
look at some Mustangs in Idaho. That's maybe 12 or something. He says they got, well, how long do I have to get rid of them? He goes, well, I'm selling the place. He goes, they gotta go right away. So what are you looking for the place? Where's the check from it? Just how you buy cars and things.
There's some neat stuff over there, like some old time, you know.
Oh, yeah, he got anything from the turn of the century.
Yeah.
Thank you.
well, they bring good crowd if they get more events down there. You know what I mean, down the
I
road.
think they have a gun show coming up.
Do they? Yeah, they do the gun shows.
Are you going for the
reptile show?
That's where I wanna be, so get me out of here.
He also takes cars on the road.
Yeah, she's like,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
cool, you know.
Yeah,
I heard that, I've never seen her in person.
Yeah, well, neither
Different
have I.
events,
I mean,
different
she's-
places.
Jeff Fine
Have a
tomorrow.
big tent.
Oh, he's going?
Yeah, he was trying to round up.
Brenda's brother's over there.
They
He
said they
took a
sold
video,
between two
and he went around the room, I saw Harry Louise. I saw That's just odd that, you know, she, you know,
It's weird that it's there, I guess they're what, just,
well, Brenda told me it's sponsored by the Chester County Republican Women's League or something like that. you know, that's who sponsors it.
Right,
Probably a good spot being the turnpike.
Yeah, and I never even heard of
Easy
that,
travel for a
you
while.
know.
Yeah, I just wanna mention,
Most of Chester County.
I was late getting to the meeting because I was stuck in traffic.
Down there. I'll tell you, he saw me down there. I went down there, it took me 10 minutes to get into Turkey Hill parking lot.
When,
Just tonight, because if you go down during rush hour,
yeah.
it's bad. We're
Which Turkey Hill? This is
Right here.
Boulder.
This light, the two lights in combination are just.
Yeah, well, somebody, we gotta get a whole pen knife too, you almost throw your car over now, don't turn it on as you go on the road.
You do, you got, and when
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
when you're coming off, when you're heading this way, you gotta take it real tight,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can build that off.
I think you didn't blow the bridge, that extra. That kind of-
But you could,
Yeah.
good.
Dead end, right?
Exactly, you get close out. There you go.
boat ramp.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what we should do it over the road, instead of replacing that bridge, just put poles back there. They're bitching about all the traffic, take care of that, don't have to worry about the road flooding out all that, ain't there.
Oh, I would.
Just stopping at the, oh, you would
I
have.
would stop there. I would.
And Ryan said we need to do something soon because the deer are escaping Robeson Township. He said he came across the bridge the other morning from Exeter. There's a line of 6 of them going across the bridge. And
Oh, really?
he said, wait a minute, where you guys go?
Hey, Rich.
So,
That's better food over this side.
Yes.
yes,
What we have on here.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't suit you none, but that would,
Yeah.
right.
all the money you spend on that damn bridge, and how many people use it?
Right.
And it's underwater more than this.
We need, you know. Okay.
Yeah, it would be.
And by rights, they're required to get inspected every time it goes under.
Because we have, everything's
It's
done.
funny,
just- but that's the next
Okay,
step.
so that's
So I'll verify that. when we get
Watermill.
done.
okay, all right.
Okay, and it's, Gallagher Township.
We're talking.
Yes.
Has 6 miles of road to maintain.
Come on.
That's 6
Right.
miles
Make
and
the
then
adjustment
the
based
asphalt
on
comes down.
the
Like they have
Tuesday meeting.
milling machines, sprayers, and 6 miles of road. All the rest is either state road, or state game land, you know, and 6 miles.
Is that paved roads or roads?
Well, some of them are dirt, but they, they only have 6 miles, and then when the gas companies
But I think
came out,
that's
Then
the
we
right.
form
They-
done.
I was thinking,
And the
I
other-
was thinking that,
Like,
Beagles for the. Yes,
yeah,
they're all reviewed.
They, like, if you got over dimension or an overweight permit while the gas company was there, you know, like you started with PennDOT, went down the line, then the gas company was on.
Okay.
That's how
Because
it's
they
done.
Okay.
identify
That sounds
all roads, because then there's drill bits and stuff like that, you know? And they did roads up there, like the profile was like 16 inches, you know, it wasn't just oil chip.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they had the old pavers there, and, you know,
You've had a long
stone.
2 weeks.
Seems like 3.
You know, 6 miles, right? Yeah, 6 miles of road.
I just wanna make sure. So tonight will be authorization to accept application for that confirmation of the resolution that they will then officially adopt.
Okay,
So as soon as that's done, then they'll officially be recorded and everything.
right,
Right.
yeah, I'm just here as a cash flow, so.
You had nothing better to do tonight.
So then, the escrow,
Yes,
do we need a motion to release the escrow then?
yes, we will do that when we do the rest. So what I have here, Tommy, do we have?
Well, I think you guys owe me.
We do. I'll show you what I think it is, and we can go over this. And yes, they go hand in hand, but they don't have, to, right? I mean, they're two separate things. And we can talk about this. So I think, here's the names. So for 5-1, I've got 4-3-3-11-98. 4-5-2, I've got 4-5-5-1-2.
That's what you gotta hold.
That's what we got. This is what's on this. So do you want to secure these separately?
No, just secure it
And
together.
I think I lied. I think that this is the least.
Right, but so just that you'll redo the escrow.
Yes.
Like, and then this whole thing, and put them both.
Yeah. But there'll be, yes, so they're two separate. 5-1 and 5-2.
Right, but if if you can merge them into one.
Yeah. One maintenance,
And you only need it for 18 months. Yeah, no, that's fine. So there's no outstanding construction items or inspection items or nothing, it's just basically hold that and then do a drive through 18 months from now.
Yep. You got it.
Good. Yep, sounds good.
I'll hold on.
All right. All right.
Just couldn't keep you away. He just couldn't avoid a good time. He's like you.
Yeah, I'm just a casual observer.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I know. It took off.
I can start that.
You go away or is it just relaxing?
No, it went away, it was actually.
I thought it was just that you don't want her to be with me. We were together Monday night, we're together tonight. It's like,
Try to stop me.
yeah.
You're not next to her, are you? That's next.
No. That's one I avoid.
How'd you make out the pipe?
Just fine.
I drove the paintings good.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes,
Yeah, it's
but
good.
it's, anything was an improvement from what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it was pretty good. I drove it today. Good. I appreciate the brush.
Yeah, so we caught a little bit of flair. The thing is, the blue mark is not making any scratch.
Yeah.
Understood, you know, it flails it apart, and dips it apart, and does it looks like crap for a little bit, until it starts rolling back. And it's just,
But they were good. They wrote something.
oh, I know, it's like the Amazon.
Yeah, I know.
It's built so quick. Besides what you want to.
There's one in Whispering Pines.
Very well.
It's about that big around that hangs right down in the center of the road. And I go drive a bus through there and I try to miss it. It does.
As far as our, clean mowing and that type of thing.
Folks, by way of heads up again, we are video live, audio and visual streaming here on YouTube. So I know we have a number of residents that are interested
That insult.
in watching, listening, those are available at any time. You can access them without the necessity of the right to know request at your leisure.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, thank you.
Be quiet. Listeners everywhere, hunters everywhere. May have shut down the operation.
You'd be like 200 bucks.
Because you're waiting for
Yes, yes.
Turn the light out. You see that thing on the stage. I'm staring at the looking for like, and then you get in your head, I need to sleep. And then you keep someone in house. And then it's hard. It's very hard. If it's a Saturday, it's when I have to leave there.
Call the September 12th, Robeson Township in order at 7 o'clock. We do pledge allegiance and moment of silence for all military personnel.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Here.
Mr. Hitler.
Here.
All right, is there any citizens' comments or concerns? If so, raise your hand. Name and everything. All right, Rich, correspondence.
Okay, there's a list of correspondence in your packets that was sent to you and also in front of you this evening. And we have our annual county convention Thursday, October 17th. That information is included there. The Mercer County Conservation District request for donations included in your packet. Big River Greenways, also a request for donation included in your packet. For your consideration, we can address that at the upcoming regular meeting or in October or beyond. Invitation to PSAT's regional forums, you'll see the list of the dates that are available there. And then general PSAT's info regarding the individual forms and grant resources.
Now, traditionally, I guess donations, do we give any to them, the First County Conservation District anyways? We don't, do we?
I'd have to go back and look at that, and honestly, that's not something I had an opportunity to do before this meeting this evening, so I can look at those. I believe
We'll have to check.
we'll check them out.
Anything else under correspondence? No? All right, Police Sergeant Ruby.
Good evening, Board. The first thing I have on my agenda is to request a motion to purchase 2 patrol rifle optics at the cost of $1,800. $450 of that would be utilized from the rifle repair, optic repair. The remaining balance would have to come out of our capital purchase.
Of which there is money available.
Yes, there's.
So I don't think we need to wait till Tuesday unless you gentlemen check. I'll make a motion, approve that purchase.
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board. The second thing I have is to request a motion to purchase 5 WatchGuard body cameras, batteries, at the cost of $495. Budget line 410.804, which is budget.
I'm assuming that's all 5 of that much money, not per battery.
Yeah, it's basically all 5.
That's a total.
One thing we discussed at our budget meeting was the application for grants and the like. If possible, moving forward, trying to stay on top of that, as I suspect we've potentially missed some opportunities, perhaps inadvertently, perhaps we just didn't know about it, but if you can keep in tune with that, I think there'll be some of that can cover this.
Absolutely.
Not this specific one, but
No, absolutely. I agree
forward.
wholeheartedly.
So I'd make a motion on Unit 4B, purchasing 5 watch guard body worn cameras. That's the battery only.
That's the battery on that, yeah.
Battery only.
Right now, just to let the board know, our body worn camera batteries are not lasting throughout the shift. Guys are having to come back and take them off and charge, and once they die, it takes them quite a bit of time to charge again, and if they get another call, so they're gonna be spare batteries, they'll be swapped.
Know where those batteries are made?
I know Motorola makes them, I don't know where though.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second motion.
Roll call, Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you, Board. The next item I have on is utilizing the building repair budget. I spoke to Rich, Township Manager, about possibly getting some work done to the building. We received a quote from Hawk Painters, which is a business in the township, to have the building dry repair, pressure wash, and painted.
And is that where you came up with this number on the budget, I'm assuming?
Yeah, everybody should have a copy of the quote in your packet.
So you don't need that for tonight, that can be part of the budget, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't know how you guys want to utilize the building repair fund.
Yeah, we had as part of the budget, we did have, there is some money there. I think we'd have to look at where we place that. If we looked at this in the new year, he's probably running towards the end of the season now anyways. But again, as I mentioned earlier, the quote was actually, it's 14,886 is the total quote for all of those, and to include the work to the back garage door. What I would tell you there is that this would probably go up into the new year, but I don't see it rising substantially.
Yeah, you had it in 409,500. That was the $20,000.
Yes, sir.
Harold?
If you got a budget, why not spend it? This is not a bad time of year to have it done, because the temperatures aren't extreme, the paint will dry in a fair amount of time.
I agree.
And it's been put off for 15 years.
We can certainly do that. Board's wish.
Yeah, if you want to get it started. And that's in 2024, not 25.
Did you get quotes from other contractors?
So I did not.
We did not, and he is a goes first.
The second class township code requires
That was 22,300.
for bidding, but I think it's 12.2 for projects over $12,200. You need to get 3 quotes.
All right, I'll double check that. On your way through that.
Yeah, we'll wait till Tuesday then.
Would the board like me to try to get other quotes? in the
Sure, you
meantime?
can try to get stuff for Tuesday.
And that's all I have.
But what about
What about
C?
C?
Getter.
Oh, yeah, I did miss him. I apologize. He would not be happy with at all. That's a big one. Yeah, so I would request a motion to move Officer Jacob Ketter to first class patrolman, which is the rate of $45.35 per our CBA under Article 5 wages. His anniversary date would be September 27th, 2024, which will take effect.
How's he been doing? Everything?
Phenomenal. He has been doing phenomenal for us.
I'll make a motion to promote Officer Carey first class patrolman as discussed. Effective 27th.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you, Board. No, I believe that is all I have.
And just for the most part, things quiet, I guess, or depending what we're talking about.
Yeah, we had the accident on 176, I'm sure everybody's aware of. That's still being investigated. We're trying to get to review the video and the logbook from the car to see, or the truck to see actually what happened. But for the most part, we have had, the officer has been out trying to help with the speeding situations on certain roads. That's a task at hand, obviously, for us to do, but no, everything's been going good for the department so far. Guys have been great. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback with us being at the school all the time for the kids and everything.
Good. Good. All right, thank you. All right, we got finances here.
All right, so monthly expenses, treasurer reports, raising report, including your packets for your review for the regular meeting on Tuesday.
Manager's comments.
So, comments for this evening, personnel evaluations, as we briefly discussed in the budget meeting, we are doing personal evaluations, and so those will be completed in 30 September. We have the administrative ones. I will have both Ms. McCune and our Public Works crew leader, and then the others will be done by them individually with their team inside the office. So again, we'll have those by 30 September, and that will allow us then to include that in their budget discussions and consideration in October. Included also in your package, DC grant resolution. There was one question that came up on that, and that was it only had my name on there for signature as the secretary. However, it lists both the chair and vice chair as those that are capable of authorizing or signing any documents related to it. So my recommendation to you is that we add both your names to that, and then my name as the secretary to attest to it in the end. So I will bring that to the regular meeting for signature, okay, with your names, if you will agree to that. Again, your names are listed in here in the actual resolution itself, but they were not on the signature line. Again, we had the advertised budget meetings. They are 6 p.m. We had the first of those this evening, and the next two are right before the workshops in October and November. And Public Works vacancies, I will request executive tonight to discuss the resignation of one of our Public Works employees. It's a very positive story. We'll talk about that down there. But in the meantime, would request that as we go through, we know we have a advertisement that's out there that is in your packet. Those applications closing the 16th, I would like to, with your permission then, to hire two against that, losing the one, of course, the other one we just had.
Not before we have a look at those, correct? No?
I'll look at the
You're talking
resume.
about-
The resume?
We will, yes, we will send you a list of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any
Do we
questions?
have anybody?
I think we have 4 right now, three.
Three?
Potential fourth that's expressed an interest, hasn't filled out the application, they haven't until Monday to do so.
Okay.
Any questions, that's all I have to say.
All right, and fire companies, I just had for Tuesday. And then we have the minutes, expenses, and reports to review for Tuesday. All right, we're planning this year and we're ready.
Good evening, board. Quick update on the paving project. We are currently scheduled for the week of 9/23. It does look like we might have some rain in there, but hopefully at some point that week we will be moving H&K in to start paving. And again, that is scheduled to start on Hopewell and move north through the township. So we'll keep you posted on that. Second item is with respect to Quaker Ridge Phase 5. This was discussed, I think, at the last regular meeting, but was not on the agenda. So at this point, construction has been completed. The proper legal descriptions as built have been submitted, reviewed. Everything appears adequate. So I think we're ready to begin the dedication process for those streets. The next step would be for the board to authorize Colin's office to prepare the resolutions and deeds of dedication, which would then be the official documents the township would adopt to take those streets.
And that's what you're requesting in B.
Correct.
All right, I'll make that motion for those dedication, direct our solicitor to correspond with the Ridge representatives. And, get that matter concluded.
And prepare the resolution.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll second the motion.
All right. Everybody in the room? Yeah, roll call, Mr. Delos, Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is with respect to the Charles Glass subdivision, and I believe we have representatives here that are on the agenda this evening and ready to have a discussion with you. This is regarding lot size. I did make a quick handout just so the board can see the section of your zoning ordinance that this pertains to. Essentially, in your agricultural zoning district, residential lots, which is what's being proposed by this plan, are regulated to a 1 acre minimum and a 2 acre maximum, unless there's criteria, and it's outlined here for you, with respect to adequate area for on-lot sewage disposal, the lack of prime agricultural soils, and whether or not the property has hydrological factors and or topography which would not make it prime for agricultural activities. So I think that's the criteria that we're looking at here this evening with respect to a larger lot.
From an engineering standpoint, that this lot meets that criteria, correct?
Absolutely. One of these lots contains a very large pond, as a matter of fact. So I know that there is a sketch here for you, and Karen, if you have anything else you'd like to
I'm
add.
Karen Crater with Hofford Surveying here tonight. I also have a little, I have the zoning section also with it highlighted.
No, that's the same section.
Well, it is the same section, but if you go to the next.
You have different colors.
Yeah.
We'll coordinate our colors.
If you go to the back, there's some sketches that are attached to it that we can go through that will help you. One. One more. There's something down there.
Give it to Colin, I've seen it plenty of times.
So as far as the criteria, obviously, Brian had just read through that. So if we go to the first page, you can see the lot 1 configuration that's proposed. So we'll go through the criteria, and I can explain that and how this conforms to that criteria for the larger lot size. So the first thing was to apply for the provisions of the on-lot sewage. So the existing sewage site is in blue on your sketch. The replacement area is those, looks like dots at the rear, behind the, not to the rear, to the side of the existing dwelling. The lot line proposed is pretty much at the minimum that you can have a setback from if they would have to use that system, that site, according to DEP standards, the offset to the proposed or the system that they would be installing, so that's the limit there. That is a standard in-ground system. It tested for that, which is more and more unusual to get that. They're usually sand mounds, etc. So you want to keep that. So that's that criteria for that item. Easier. So that would be the on-lot sewage disposal. 50% of the soils are not considered prime. So the highlighted orange that you see are the prime soils. The second page shows you the overall, and it highlights where the prime soils are. See that? So that's less than 10% of the overall lot. So that, I believe, takes care of that criteria. So it's less than 50%. The site can't be suitably farmed for topographical issues or hydrologic factors. Right now, the site is heavily wooded for the most part, so it's not being farmed. As Ryan said, there is a large pond down here. There is a stream that crosses, but this area here is existing as a dwelling yard with mostly trees at this point, so it would not be farmed, nor would it be likely to be farmed. And then the last would be the configuration of the parent tract that makes certain portions difficult to utilize as an agricultural operation. The parent tract is that top line that you see that's highlighted. So it's a flag lot per se. The flag pole cannot be included according to your ordinance, in the area of the lot, so that adds additional area to this lot size, even though it's not counted as part of the lot. overall square footage, it adds to that. And then you can see how it wraps around the existing home, that is not on this property. So it has to wrap around that, and as I stated before, it's just a straight line behind the minimum that we could use for the sewage offset and for the replacement area, and ties back as quickly as it can. So it wraps around, it includes existing septic, and then continues and has the flag lot, so it's kind of an odd shape. It's not your conventional lot configuration. So the parent track being that this line here is a U-shaped, plays to that criteria that the parent track configuration lends itself to why this has to be larger. So with that, I think we've answered all the criteria. If there's any questions, we can certainly answer those.
This matter was reviewed by the planning commission. I don't know that it necessarily has to be, but they did take a look at this and recommended that this relief be provided by the board of supervisors. The vice chairman of the planning commission happens to be here this evening, so if I misstated that, please let us know.
You did a correct job. Good job.
Okay, so then we need a motion, is that correct?
Yes.
That motion is for letting this move forward with.
This,
Motion to allow the lots as proposed under the applicable section of the zoning.
Having met all the conditions in our ordinance. That's the motion I've made.
I'll second the motion.
roll call, Mr. Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bitler,
Yes.
None. Just so the board and the applicant are aware, this plan will now be revised, go to your planning commission, and come back through for the official plan approval process.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys. Thank you, Eric.
The next item I have was covered in my engineer's report. There was a land development plan for a dairy project for the Kevin Lauver Dairy Farm. This is out on Gunhart Road. Their improvements have been completed. They've obtained their notice of termination from the Brooks County Conservation District. I've been on the site meeting with Mr. Lauver twice, and I prepared for you a request to authorize escrow release number 1. This is a full and final escrow release to close out the construction phase of that project in the amount of $109,215.30.
I'll make that motion. I'm gonna approve the escrow release.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll call, Mr. Gallo.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Okay. I do believe Mr. Whitman has joined us here this evening for a discussion on the Rock Hollow Bridge. The design is fairly complete at this point. I think we're waiting on one DEP permit.
Yes, we're still going back and forth with the Department of Environmental Protection.
We are doing the same thing, by the way, with the Zion Road culvert. Although they've made this process digital and supposedly more user-friendly, it's not.
Not really. It's quicker. It's not better. I brought plans. I brought a cost estimate, and I will apologize in advance for the small print. Exactly. And it's still too small, so then we do this. But basically, as it stands right now, the total cost is going to be about $590,000. And I rounded that up. And we'll get better copies of the estimate over to Rich. I brought 2 reduced sets of plans. There's no erosion and sedimentation control plans in here because we're still going back and forth with the waterway opening with the bridge. And the roadway grade may change slightly from what's depicted on these plans for the simple reason that we had to lower it a little bit. What happens now is, as everybody knows, the Hay Creek is considered high quality or exceptional value stream, although I don't know why for all the sediment that's in there, especially right there. But, so we're stuck with that, so we cannot raise the 100-year water surface elevation. The way it stands right now, from the last submission we gave them, it raises it 2 inches at the bridge, and 20 feet from the bridge, it raises it an 1/8 of an inch, which is nothing, but to DEP, that's a deal breaker. So we dropped the grade of the road on it would be the plow road side of the bridge, or the west side, I'd call that, 2 inches, and if that solves the problem, then I'll make that change on the drawings. And once we get that GP11, we can go for bids right away. Now, it's gonna get a little late in the year, so it may be that we bid it in the fall, but don't start till spring. But everybody will be hungry for next year's work, so that should work to our advantage. Any questions that you have, I will be happy to answer. I will leave the plans.
What was the estimated cost before?
I think I was around 600.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that anything's changed substantially from what we originally talked about.
No, the pricing for these jobs is all over the map anymore. But it's fairly straightforward. I got my values that I use based on a very similar project as far as beam size and extent of road work involved. The only difference is there's less span length on this job. This is roughly a 46-foot span. That was a 51-foot span, and it was wider. But we could adjust for that.
And from a construction standpoint, this is a steel beam bridge
Right.
with the concrete
Right,
deck.
it's just, what you have now is a steel beam bridge with a concrete deck with guide rails on it. And this will be a steel beam bridge with a concrete deck that will be 8 inches instead of 6 inches, because that's the current standard. And 3-foot 6-inch high concrete parapet walls with some guide rail on each end. Rich and Ryan and I met with the Nichols, who have a driveway that is basically at the bridge. And we did our best to assure them that they would continue to have access. And I've designed guide rails coming off there to come up, curve down their driveway and go to a terminus so that they can get their big horse trailers in there. The only issue we're gonna have is the contractor and Med Ed argued about whether they de-energize the line or how they do that. But fortunately, that's more the contractor's problem. We've done our due diligence as far as meeting with Kinetic by Windstream. Let me get that all out there, so it'll be a mouthful. Service Electric and Med Ed. Service Electric and Windstream, we'll just abbreviate that. I'm pretty sure they can just pull their wires out of the way if there's a conflict. Med Ed talked about putting in another pole, and then they talked about just feeding it from the plow road side, or I guess that would be the road side would be more correct. And they said, no, we'll too much money, we don't wanna work in the bush over there on the east side of the bridge, so we'll just de-energize the line. Which was about the answer I expected. Although I would have gladly bumped out a little spot for them to put another pole in, but then they have to trim trees and they have to go on a right of way that's all overgrown, so they didn't want any parts of that. So other than that, any questions?
So these plans can be left here, anybody can take a look at them. My thought was to have an introduction, here this evening, let Barry and the guys look at them. I've seen them, Bill had emailed them to me a number of times. And let's knock out any small items before we go to bid here.
If there's something you don't see, now the one item that's not included in the quantities for this job is maintenance and protection of traffic, because you guys already closed the road. I couldn't see any reason to pay for more signs that would basically see the same thing. We try and keep your costs down wherever we can. If you feel like, you wanna spend a lot of money for a temporary bridge or something, we could accommodate that, but that's would be a nightmare in this spot. If any of you were around when we did Evergreen Road, that we did with a temporary bridge, because there was only one access. I think your part to Nichols would be happy if the bridge was never replaced, but they don't like the tractor trailers trying to come up there and turn around their driveway. What tractor trailers are doing back there is anybody's guess. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll see ya.
All right, that's all I have for this evening, unless anybody has questions in my report. Again, Barry, take a look at them. Any questions, let's get it sorted out. All right, thank you. All right, follow.
Yeah, I understand that Joan had contacted Liz McGovern at Mr. Harper's office with reference to the matter listed on the agenda.
To give you a little bit more opinion on that, and he and I didn't have a chance to talk over this, it was more Joan and I talking about this real quickly. Solicitor Hartman's officer reached out to us, let us know that they had a number of files that had been in their possession, wanted to know what we would like to do with those. The question really comes down to what are those files contain, whether or not they should or should not be destroyed. So we have not gotten a list of those. We really need a list to determine whether or not there's something that can be destroyed per the guidelines. So when we get that list, we'll bring that back before the board and provide you with an update at that point in time.
I have volunteered to pick those up and bring those to the township. I think we should go get them and bring them to the township, and then we'll look through those. So before anything's destroyed, before anything's gotten away, Mr. Hartman did not afford my office or me the courtesy to respond. And the same request was made by our sewer, which we ultimately had to send, our septic system, which we only actually had to send our road crew. Remember that, Mr. Renier? So what costs us money, shouldn't. And before anything gets destroyed, I certainly, for one, want to look through it. I have some real concerns. So I'd like it to be, we have room in our township building. I'd like it to be brought there, as I attempted to do several years ago.
With your permission, I'll direct our public works team to go pick that up.
Yeah, that's fine.
I make the motion to have the public works team go pick that up, all our files.
I'll second that. Is that just something that needs to be set up, like?
We'll have to call them and set that up and find out what we're gonna need and what the cubic footage of that is, and then we'll go from there. We'll figure out what we're gonna take. It might take us some time to put all those pieces together.
All right, motion to say, so roll call, Mr. Gallow?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Bittler?
Yes.
Larry, yes. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Thank you. All right, Barry.
I just have two things. We did post Old River Road to the 25 mile an hour. That section that was in question, well, not in question, but that needed to get, knocked down. The orange signs will be up, I believe it's for 60 days, is what the state mandates, some orange warning signs. So once a 60-day mark hits, we'll remove them. But other than that,
You can leave them up a little longer if you want to.
yeah.
That's just to call your attention to it type of thing.
Yeah, and also the horse and buggy signs are put up on White Bear Road.
Solid.
Just pretty much all I have.
We also have requested those for Route 10, if you recall.
Yeah.
I don't think we've received those yet. There's a section there of Route 10 that's been identified as a concern as well. We know the state's gonna pass that back to us, so it's up to make.
Any possibility, Barry, of having you put those on the agenda as well as any other items? I'm always concerned with the blank agenda.
Oh, yes, sorry, that was.
It's okay.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Rich, Park and Rec.
Okay, so Park and Rec, they had a couple of motions for asking you for approval to do a couple of things. The open space funds, one of those was approve an amount of $750 to purchase 2 diaper changing tables, 3 toilet roll holders and toilet rolls, and then 2 soap dispensers and soap. That's for the park already.
I'll make a motion to approve the $750 purchase for all those items.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Mr. Gallow? Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Bitler?
Having two one-year-old grandsons, I'll vote yes.
No, yes.
Having still,
I'm going to your house.
having still not changed the diaper in a year, I still vote yes.
Absolutely critical. All right, the second motion that Park and Rec brought to our attention was to request the board of supervisors $900, to expend $900 for Park and Rec members to attend the Pennsylvania Park Conference, which is annual conference is out in Hershey this year, this next coming year. That would pay for essentially two members. How they divide that, if that pays up for up to two members. If they wouldn't divide that differently, they could, it's up to $900. I think that'd be a worthwhile, I don't really have anybody go in play sometime, I think that'd be helpful to us just to see what's out there and see what's available to us. I think there'll also be some grant opportunities through that. Yes, so I think that'd be a great opportunity for them to, pull some information and help us write some grants and then, to get some more things for our.
I'll make a motion. We approve the $900 funding to enable Park and Rec members to attend the PRPS annual conference at Hershey in 2025. I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Gallow?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Bitler?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
The only thing for the EAC this evening, I'm gonna update this for our regular meeting. There was something placed into your packets. They're looking for some, we've made a request for some native trees and or shrubs. There's no guarantee that we're going to receive them, however, they've been putting together the pieces to do that. And what they essentially want to do is just, they put a flyer out and they want to go post that flyer. So again, I'll bring that to the regular meeting. They haven't had a chance to review it yet, and that'll be on there for that meeting. We can make a motion to approve it, post it to the website.
Anything else? We go to executive?
Yep.
And is everybody going to executive right away, right?
Yes.
All right, so we will go executive at 7:35. And that includes Mr. Bitler this time.
Excuse me?
You're included.
It's always nice to be included.
Come on down. No, you can. It's already dark, so it's. That's right. You're in, man.
I don't see anything.
So that was pretty sweet accident over 176?
Sweet.
I was sleeping, but Phil would probably say yes to Sandra Fuller.
I understand none of the sugar got on the roadway.
I don't believe so.
I think it was all self-contained.
What was it that crashed?
Tractor trailer.
Full of.
Sugar.
Sure.
Nice.
So you gave up on the traffic calming thing?
No, not yet. It's still on my report. Once we get through paving season here. That and the signals.
I'm telling you, traffic calming is the only way you're gonna, either that or close the road.
Close the road.
I said, we were talking about,
Oh, we tried, well,
put a ball at where the bridge it was.
yeah, get rid of the bridge and
Yeah.
make two cul-de-sacs.
I think Greg must have been in favor of that idea.
Might be a busing problem.
Yeah. I ain't making a big enough cul-de-sac, you know?
Could
Oh.
be.
I don't know there's anybody on the other side anymore.
Well, there's
There's only the pumping station, one house,
one house.
two houses. There's one down at the canal.
Yeah. And the church.
The two churches.
Oh, that's right, there is two. I forgot about, always forget about that little, whatever it is off to the side there.
Oh, you know what, though, you have those, what used to be Carl Place where Eli has those apartments. But they very easily just walk up the corner.
I mean, it's safe to say, I'm just asking as far as a plowing standpoint, that pretty much all the Quaker Ridge is going to be ours
I think so.
this year.
I would plan on that.
Okay.
Extended that route.
Well, you're gonna have to take a look at some of those cul-de-sacs in there too, I mean, I wouldn't wanna go down there in the middle of the night with 8 inches of snow on the ground in that truck.
Well, it's fun.
Well,
I had to do it once.
I'm gonna tell you that one is, I wouldn't wanna go down, up or down out of the truck.
Well,
I'd
that's,
slip Preston $50 and say, plow your way out, so I gotta weigh back in.
well, and honestly, that's the reason why, and you know, Harold, you were part of the process of why we spec'd out a four-wheel drive truck, was pretty much primarily because of,
Did it come in yet?
oh, it's here.
Oh, you got it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
Just
thanks for the invitation to the,
Oh, no, you can go see it anytime you want over at Ian Cook's.
oh, I thought you had it.
Oh, no, it's
Oh.
been sitting at Ian Cook's for the last 6 months. We
Yeah,
could-
I thought you were gonna like break your Pepsi bottle. or
Yeah,
something.
What do you
I-
think? You won't have that for winter, will you?
Well, no, it's supposed to be done by this fall.
Yeah, that's what we were told, but
And not happening?
we were at their open house, and that was kind of like, yeah, okay,
You talked to Dale?
yeah,
Dale, like,
very much, no, ain't happening.
And it's parts, right? It's,
yeah, it'll be,
Parts and also they just
well,
can't find people.
it'll be a year old till they get it, but it'll still be at 25.
right,
Absolutely.
right.
Well, you need somebody to put in it.
Yeah, now we do.
Harold, you have your CDL, don't you?
You know what, I gave it up a long time ago.
Just on the off chance we'd ask you for a favor.
Yeah, you know what, actually, I think technically you don't need a CDL.
That's an interesting question, because you might be right, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that,
I think these guys that drive them all the time, but if you declare it an emergency, then I don't think you do.
I'm not sure how that,
And yeah, right, once the emergency is declared, I think you're free to go.
maybe yours.
Yeah, Greg,
Norman never let me out of the pickup truck. I was allowed to plow in a pickup truck.
Greg's always busting me. Get your CDL, I could use a driver. I
Yeah.
said, no chance.
I think I'd rather plow snow than have 30 screaming kids in the van.
Well, I'm still teaching part-time. And, you know, I can come all shut up anytime I want. You know what I mean? 30 screaming kids behind you, you can't.
Yeah.
Still got 30 screaming kids behind you. I remember when I was on the bus, we had the worst bus in the world, with some really bad kids on that bus. Our bus stop was so bad, I looked up in Cypher, we had a guard at the bus stop.
Sheesh.
We all jumped out of the back when it was like the last day of school, middle school, something or other. And all summer we thought that was really cool until the first day of school was next year. All right in the principal's office.
Anybody know Reverend Pugh?
Yeah.
He was the minister up there in St. Johnson Hill. He was a bus driver. Carrying only going down Way Pier Road. Everybody off. And you drive back up there. Throw everybody off. You do that stuff in those days.
Yeah.
Now that'd be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be on national news tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
The
Well, you know what?
You'd be on it within an hour.
For the next couple of weeks, it was a nice quiet bus.
Well, I think I can head on. Do you want those for your computer?
What's that?
Those plans, I haven't emailed them to me. I was gonna email them to the board.
Yeah, just so I have, I mean, I obviously have these, but.
I think October, I think we're gonna get that permit in November.
Which, like we talked about today, it's not gonna put us
Yeah.
on that bridge until spring. which really just kinda stinks.
I think you
because-
kind of projected this thing to be done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I don't know that anybody anticipated, I'm telling you, the issues with DEP are unreal. You know, again, give you an example. So this electronic submission process, it's just like anything else. You log on, you get a user account. You know, I need the okay to submit plans for Robeson Township or any municipal client, you know, so you get all that straightened out. And it used to be that you took 3 copies of the application and the check, well, we don't need a check because we're exempt as a municipality. You mailed it in certified mail or UPS, and I knew exactly when they got it.
No more.
Now you submit it electronically and they're supposed to send you an email. Well, I submitted Zion Road for the second time 2 weeks ago. I still don't have the email.
Is there any way you can tag that it notifies you when open?
No, because it's their system, like it's, you know, there's a name for it. But you log on to theirs, then that's how you upload your documents, you know, I mean, there's ways that you can document it, and we have, but, and it's funny because we got the emergency permit for that.
Mhm.
And there's a young engineer on DEP's side who had been on me early this summer about, you got 6 months on it, you know, get your application in. So as soon as I submitted it, I started sending them emails, hey, can you verify you can see this on your side, you know, crickets.
He didn't care on his end, he cared on yours.
So, and Bill had a similar issue, plus, they made him run a floodplain analysis to document any rise in the floodplain.
Yeah, it would've been nice to get that bridge a few inches higher. Although that one doesn't, it goes underwater, but not that often.
Yeah. But that's the issue with raising the bridge, is they don't let you raise anything in the floodplain. So you can't raise your approaches.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
I mean, I would say, that really don't make sense. You would think you would want more volume going downstream, you know, as opposed to hitting the bridge and then.
Choking it up.
How is a bigger waterway not better?
Yeah, I don't know. And the other thing is, like I said, once they went in water, it's supposed to have inspected.
Yeah.
So it's more cost to you.
Yep.
Maybe the guy from DEP owns the bridge inspection company.
Maybe. Yeah. Knock on wood, we haven't had to do that this year.
Not only we haven't had to meet with the bridge inspector recently. That guy puts me.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, when they cleaned, or they lowered Blue Marsh, I think that really helped. Cause we did get underwater with the Allegheny, bridge there for 2 of those rainstorms.
Yeah. They lowered it a lot and we didn't get the rain that they thought.
No,
For a while.
but the other thing is, you know, the Corps of Engineers needs to get out there and remove all that debris from the end of that outlet.
I haven't looked at that side.
If you ever get a chance, just go across the river, walk up the trail a little bit, and look over it, it's like, you ever see when they do the log jams, you know, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like there's a little island out there just covered in logs.
Leave that little island alone. It's gonna die.
Now, another municipality, tried to burn them,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out real well.
Would you see they cleared all that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The Corps of Engineers went down and cleared it out.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some benefit to
Light it up.
Yeah.
Do we have a amphibious fire vehicle?
No.
Maybe you can get it further out in the river and be extra strong.
Dude, what happens if there is an issue on the river? Who responds?
Typically, like, for instance, say there's a problem there, Exeter will respond.
Do they have a boat?
Yeah, with 3.
And does Reading still have the
No,
duck?
that art.
Yeah.
Art, whatever, no, it's out of service.
That was a problem from,
Yeah.
Shoemakersville has a hovercraft.
I was gonna say, they have to have something though, because they have to do wood rescue all the time.
Reading? Yeah, they have something, they don't have that, vessel anymore. That's something
The
else.
boat on wheels.
Yeah.
probably sitting over at the
Actually,
museum.
just, last weekend, they did training at the river there on the Exeter side. They did hazmat training. They had like the big, pigs out, they call them, and, you know, floatable saturation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had all
Yeah, I
those.
know, I went across that, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, but they had that, they even went to the extent they had a big lit up billboard,
Yep.
training exercise in progress.
Hey, that guy ever do his project on the trail down here? Do we know? Remember we went with them in early summer?
Oh, yeah,
I forget even what he's gonna do.
yeah, I haven't heard anything from him, because he was supposed to contact us.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
They just do whatever they wanna do anyway.
No, they called us and asked permission, but I forget
Yeah.
what he was even doing.
They filled in all the drain stuff going under the railroad tracks.
Well, yeah, that was one big problem. Actually,
It still was a problem.
yeah, well, when Butch was still here, he got a call for it, and we went over there and we nutsed around. And because every time it rained, it would flood that whole area.
Well, the other thing is, I end up with it, because it saturates under the tracks and it comes out
And
of
it
me,
comes down
as
through.
opposed to going into the streams where it was diverted.
That was the purpose to send it your way.
Well, what was his name? Was it, Dwight? What was his name? But he in essence said, hey, you don't want the water trench around. He's dead a long time now, but he was their engineer. It's like, guys, I don't think I should have to do that. I ended up doing it anyway, but.
Well,
Yeah, I was kinda hoping that bridge would have been done this year, but obviously it's not, I mean, we know that. It's just kinda, it is what it is. Usually I start my route and I just go down Rock Hollow, right to Mullen Hollow. Now I gotta go all the way around, which isn't a big deal, but still,
It's time.
Yep.
you don't,
And
you don't
then
plow
we
the
get
other side, do you?
like last year, and it's none of the residents on that portion of Hay Creek, because I know all of them. But, you know, when I go down, I'm not gonna lift the plow in front of them, so I plow that little portion of it. And then I go to Buck Hollow. Well, then we get phone calls, why didn't you guys do all of Hay Creek? Well, Hay Creek's not ours. I just did it because I'm driving on that road. I find it very senseless if I'm on there, not to plow, especially in the deep snow. But then we get a phone call, well, Hay Creek's not plowed. Yes, I know, because it's a state road.
Can you guys start making a left out of the township building so I can go to work when it snows?
Well, it used to really be fun when White Bear was a state road, so was plowed. So the township would wait till the state went through, and the state would wait 2 days to go through because it's not an important road to them.
Yeah, we do kinda,
Was White Bear turned over at the same time as Calico, or were they different?
Yes,
Should ask for a snowmobile.
So they're all part of the same turnout.
which is a big mistake.
My
Don't make
husband
any money
works for
taking
Monmouth
risks.
Township, and I'm always like I haven't been in town, but I work for 10 minutes literally.
Nope.
And half that funding, the turnback funding isn't forever, there's a, how long?
Well, they don't use, we're still getting turn back.
Yeah, we are.
But it's minimal, I mean, it's not worth the
We looked at
maintenance.
it today, I forget what it was.
58.
It's not worth the money that we're putting out there.
Doesn't tell you to walk again.
And Lee did that?
Who?
It's our manager and solicitor.
Oh, the solicitor's gotta be outside, cause there's stuff still here.
Better not be smoking.
They're not smoking down here. They're ready for you.
Like I said, I don't know what my services are needed.
That's something you guys are gonna have to do something there at, Calico and White Bear.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's all scunned up. And somebody takes a trailer through
I
there.
looked at that a couple times.
Yeah.
We could do something without impeding on the opposite lanes, meaning White Bear, we could do something in there. Because it's becoming more and more, like, I seen a camper try to go through there,
Yeah,
that was not pretty.
Yeah.
Because it went so hard, it wasn't so much the tail drag, it's when he went across, it was a fifth wheel, while the truck went like this.
Yeah.
Like, he pushed, the camper pushed into the bed of his truck. He kept going, I don't know if he knew he did it, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's bad. I know sometimes we even hit with the car when we go across there, and
Yeah.
we have an all-wheel drive vehicle, so it's not like a low.
Yeah.
So I wish it's
Something we
go
could,
this way and then that way.
I only have one trailer that drives it.
But there's a lot of scope works there.
Yeah,
it's definitely something we could look at next year when we go to, if we stick to our road work project.
I mean, there's gotta be a way to just like put a leveling coat there or something.
Like a ramp, you know, right at the stop sign, a little 3-footer, a little kicker ramp, launch over it,
yeah.
figure something out.
What drags hard there? Is it trail? Do buses drag there? I don't think the bus hits
No.
And I think it's trailers.
Trailers. I know like my big trailer, my enclosed trailer drags there. Now, I have,
You hit that and start going up,
yeah,
and the trailer's still coming across,
Yeah.
and then they fit there.
so like the big trailer has rollers on the back, so it's not like the end of the world, it's just steel rollers because of it being so big. But
Yeah, if somebody gets down through there with a low boy with a backhoe or something on
I
it,
seen,
they don't even feel it.
yeah, I seen, that guy with the camper that one time, he's not gonna be happy when he gets out. Cause it did, like, when you went in, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was a fifth wheel and it went like that. The nose of that camper dug into his bedroom.
they are so big, it's not even funny, I'm telling you.
Why not look at my hands?
I know, that one, the guy down the street from me has one.
It's like a house on wheels.
Yeah.
That's why I love going camping.
I mean, that is not camp. Some, they're nice, those kitchens are nicer than the ones in my house, it's like,
It's like, why go away?
Fun. Yeah, they have ones even more elaborate than that now.
oh, sure.
They have one where there's literally like, there's 2 stories to them now. There's some with spiral staircases and these cathedral ceilings.
Mhm.
3 or 4 sliders.
Yeah, yeah, my nan has 4. Yeah, sky's the limit, I guess.
Some of them even have like full-size fridges in it, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Full-size showers.
Yeah,
hers does. Full-size fridge,
I would kill for a full-size shower in our camper.
heated and,
Or like, you have to wash your hair and you're not lacking your elbows and, yeah.
heated and massaging seats, gotta have that in your camper. I'm serious, it does.
We went camping, we had a camper had an ice box in it. Had to get a block of ice in.
I'll tell you, you wanna see some rigs, this weekend's the weekend to go see some rigs over
Yeah,
the
camper
Maple
shower
Grove.
sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Believe me, I pass them on.
what's
Maple Grove Road.
National for this
Oh,
weekend, which is another reason why we didn't pave
yeah,
today and we're not paving tomorrow,
Yeah.
because it's just going into the asphalt plant's miserable. But these trucks are just
What is the race this weekend?
the nationals, like all the big boys are there. But it's like, even these independent guys that are racing, you know, don't really have big sponsors. I bet you their rigs cost more than the car.
Yeah.
Between the trucks and then the trailers, it's like, I just wish I had their money in the rig.
Yeah, I mean, they have like the touring bus, like
That's what it is.
the country sports here or something.
Yeah, and then the trailer behind it's like, and it's like all aluminum, so the trailer's probably $200,000.
How do I leave?
Yeah.
all that to get down the track in 6 seconds.
guess if you have it, you know, that's your passion.
And hope you don't blow it up.
Or if you do, you got a couple hours to fix it.
It's like, hey, we spent all day to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Right. It's incredible what those guys can do with them cars though. As far as just the horsepower they can put in them.
Yeah.
They do junior dragsters out there, which is a lawnmower engine,
Yeah.
that don't get to go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But they were doing, lawnmowers. Beef up your lawnmower, bring it, my brother got clocked at 85.
Yeah, it's incredible what you can do with them. Oh. I'm going on.
Yeah, I think I am too.
We're gonna make some important motions when they get out here.
You'll call me if I'm not appointed to this, right?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna stand out there on every night when the traffic's backed up with a sign. Call this number.
Ryan's cell phone.
He's holding his process up.
Once we get Mount Road paved, we'll be on it, I promise.
Yeah.
Did they come out and check it out yet?
No.
What's that?
The traffic light,
No.
make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't think that's the problem.
I think, the timing needs, I don't think anything changed with the light, I think timing needs adjusted.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing more traffic there than we ever did.
I think the eastbound needs to be extended so that it lets you through earlier, or extended when the other one stops, keep going. Would probably be more sense, because you know what? If it's a meeting, when they start, the other guys will come through.
True.
Or if we stopped. You know what I mean?
I'm going home. Good night.
Good night.
Take care.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Executives as long as the meeting almost.
I'll just start working on a little piece.
Good luck.
How are you tonight, Harold?
I'll tell you what, it's hard to get any better than that.
I hear it, everybody asks me how I am, I come perfect.
Well, you know,
Living.
my standard answer is, I'm absolutely freaking marvelous. However, I am prone to exaggeration.
I hear it.
If you need it, I'll call you down and I have no good estimate. We didn't want the job, this was too small. And, he's actually still in this. See, I don't know anybody. Customers and me, I definitely get that. I don't know the job.
Skin color, but I thought of one for comedy.
My husband's all excited to start hunting.
Oh, yeah, right. Next to hunt, yeah.
Jeffy did one of them.
You don't like new hunting stuff, like,
Jesse.
Well, mine said
I'll wear
last
that and
year,
watch you from the couches.
they were going
He's a
to,
silver, he said, I got something to do with those
because we had them around us, we loved like the watershed dogs on the terrace.
He's gotta fix my
And
house.
so we bought all the gear, and I was in Walmart, and it was then Walmart was selling off all their stuff, like $7 jackets for $10, something like that. It was all all these jackets, and they're still up hanging, they're never worn. He bought the machine, he bought the scent, he bought the thing that flex, like everything, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have a yard sale and start getting rid of this stuff here.
I didn't have a second
Going on
picture.
Facebook.
Are you really? Where's that? towards, oh, is it, alright, is that New York?
No, it's like right, it's in Pennsylvania, it's like up New York.
I was thinking kind of towards Erie, I thought it was like Erie way, no?
It's this side of Pennsylvania still. My husband's like, I have to get intersection pipes and this and that, I'm like, you know if they kind of actually worked, right? Yeah, this would just literally walk up to you and bump into you.
Yeah.
Right, and if your scent killer and all of that stuff worked, the deer and the bears and everything over the place, they would literally bump into you because they wouldn't be able to see you or smell you.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe let's not spend any more money on that stuff, because I don't really think the bear cares what you're wearing.
Good point.
That'll be another one, so I'll be,
And
I
that's
would
not just-
serve and you don't know how to.
Yeah. I like that idea, I like being kind of remote and, away from all the fuss and all the mess and everything like
And the
that.
nice part about being out there is there's no cell phone service.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
we don't, like, there's electric and stuff like a cabin, but there's no Wi-Fi, there's no cell phone.
Then you can talk and do stuff then, it's like, cause it is phones now, they're just like, everybody was on their phone now, it's like, just,
Right there's a laptop and I watch movies and I have one more to
you take up nothing, not a scarf for the next day.
We were just up there last week. I have a bunch of going from projects and I use only 11 washcloths.
Really?
Only there.
Is that not a crochet? Knitting? I'd like to learn how to do it, but it looks too complicated.
My grandmother has been trying to teach me for like 20 years.
And people say it's like simpler than that, I know it's knitting is
I watch my grandmother do it, I'm like, it looks so easy, but I can't get, I just can't do it. I have all the stuff to do it,
right.
I just can't.
I'm the same, I bought the kit and the different hooks and so that's, still I think I'll have to buy the stuff when I can do it. It's like man with tools, say Harold, you just buy the tool, you think I need that tool, so.
What's that?
So we're talking about like buying stuff, and having it, but still it's like man with tools. Like, I need this tool and I need that tool and.
I'm glad people buy stuff they don't need.
So you met my husband?
Oh, no. I am just so tired of the stuff.
Yes.
And when I was in Ireland, I kind of get the impression things are more minimalistic. And most of the houses I saw weren't huge, so you didn't have a lot of stuff in them.
They're more self-indulgent in another way, I think, like a quality, like over there you don't have to spend a lot of money on say medical insurance, like what you need, so it's spent like on clothes or maybe your hair or the things like this, the image, like fun stuff.
Stuff to make you feel good.
Yes.
And I understand why the pubs are so popular. In the wintertime, you only have like 6 hours of daylight.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else are you gonna do? Get down in the pub.
Can I have a sing along? So the thing over there is that's not too extreme. The weather, you don't have the real heat, you don't have the real cold. You have a real wet.
That's why I said, I think I can live there, because winters are between the 40s and the 50s.
Yes, it doesn't drop below freezing very, very, it was just one very short
From
period
what I
of
said,
time.
up in Northern Ireland, maybe, and Northern Scotland, but the lowlands, it's,
Yes.
and then same as the summertime, you're talking the 50s to the 60s, maybe 70s. Which you kind of got air going all the time. It was very pleasant. If somebody said you want to go, I would say when we're leaving.
When I was talking to another friend today, she said she was over there and she said she really enjoyed it. She wouldn't go back again.
And
It's nice to
to me,
hear.
there's a lot of different thought processes. So it's like the old telephone booth. They get rid of them.
painted them beige and made them defibrillator stations. I was like, great idea. You know, and I think the process is you walk up, it's 999, I guess, over there. They pop the thing open before, they send an ambulance, you get your AD and stuff out.
Even like local corner stores, every like they all but like nearly all of them have defibrillators
I
and
did,
things. And
I did take notice a lot of the stores that have a lot of mom and pop stores versus the big
yes,
box stores that we
people
have.
They might be chain stores or like next thing you know, chain restaurants either. They're nearly all like mom and pop.
Yeah,
kind
right,
of
I did,
restaurants and stuff.
and then what you do see there as far as chain goes are in country and they're not huge. So
Yes,
was it Murphy's Ice Cream?
I don't know.
We visited, and we visited them in 3 different towns, so it was
Right,
like
so they must
yeah.
be local to that.
Yeah, that
that
region,
area,
or maybe
yes.
it was even that county. Cause the county's pretty big. But yeah, it was definitely a totally different philosophy on it. And I also think a lot of people walk.
Yes, they do. Whereas here it's very much car dependent. Over there it's there's a lot of sidewalks.
And there's a lot more public transportation.
And there's a lot more money put into creating and improving and maintaining sidewalks and things to encourage.
Well, I don't think I've seen a piece of trash the whole time on a roadway that we were there.
Plastic bags, they've been banned for a good few years now in the south of Ireland, but they're very strict on recycling and stuff like
Yeah.
that over there, very strict.
Well, I took notice that even you take a soda, chew a soda cap off, it doesn't come off. Kind of lays to the
Yes,
side.
that's right, I never thought of that, yeah.
You know, so you're right. They're like light years ahead of us when it comes to that. But I think Ireland is about the size of Pennsylvania, but has like 25% of the population. And there's a lot of beautiful countryside, but you get out in it, and you can see why it's not very popular because there's nothing else out there. And Scotland is even worse. Like the difference between Ireland and Scotland was Scotland is very rugged. You know, Ireland you got these rolling hills. Scotland is, and you know, it's totally different. Beautiful, but totally different countryside. And you know why those Scots are deaf. Now, what part are you from?
From the north.
North.
Yeah.
Belfast?
Belfast is on the east side, we came from the west side, like we're Donegal. Meets Northern Ireland, just on the border.
Yeah, so we went through Belfast and up to the Dark Edges.
Alright, yeah.
And then we came down through,
They lost a lot of those big trees a few years ago as well in the Dark
yeah,
Ages.
I did see that.
Storms, so they did.
And sometimes I even like try to replant it. I mean, they have made it quite the tourist attraction.
Okay, they milked that, haven't they?
Yes. Well, same as the Jones Causeway. That reception center up there is like the Taj Mahal.
And you know, you don't have to pay to go to the Giant's Causeway, you can just walk around that centre.
Oh,
But if you walk through the centre, you have to pay, and that's what catches a lot of people.
Well,
Because it's a national trust, you don't have to.
yeah, so you know, things you know afterwards. When we got out of the parking lot, there's a set of steps that go up to a trail that goes across the top.
Yes.
That's the way you should go in. And then you go down the steps into the causeway. If you go the other way, you die climbing those steps. I forget how many hundred steps there is to go up. So, yeah, if I would go the other way again. Then we,
And don't go through the centre.
no, there's no value to going through the center. Bushmill? Was that Bushmill?
Bush Mills, yes, yeah.
We stopped there. Yeah, and you know, anything that
Did
like,
you do the Titanic?
we did that. We did that. We talked about it, but our schedule didn't allow it. And then one of the couples we were with, her great-grandparents were born in Lorne. And so we had to stop. So, nice little town, we had, you know, a little snack there and walked around a little bit and headed out, but, yeah, like I said, I would definitely go, I would not hesitate. I question why you're here.
She said the same thing to me the other day. She said, "You're very brave. She said, every time you go over there, you have to come back here again."
And then, we had to go to Compton, which is in
Mayo.
Galway, I guess, in Galway County.
Collins County Mayo, isn't it? Galway, you're probably, you know you're right,
I don't know, well, we had to go to Compton, because that's where the movie, The Quiet Man was filmed. Huh. It just says North Com.
Did you hop on the bike and stuff outside the pub? Yeah, here we go.
Pat Cohan's. Well, you know, I made me laugh. Somebody made the pub across the street Danaher's.
Right.
It was the brother-in-law in the movie, but, yeah, I had to get out and get my picture taken with the statue.
Yeah, that was,
But I'm
they made
surprised.
some money from that place from when John Wayne beat
Well,
that.
yeah, well, I'm surprised that pub looks the same as hell,
Yes,
as it did the movie 60 years ago.
and then there's an abbey just across over the
Yes.
street, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, so
place.
we got there, and we just started drizzling, and we thought, you know, how much is this we gonna, you know, it's like, and we ran into a very colorful guy at the tourist center, and he was the guy in charge that day. He told us a lot of very colorful stories, which is typical of the area. And we thought, you know what, we're gonna walk back to the car quick. And we no sooner got the car,
Just open.
yeah. But now, it didn't last long. So, you know, if in retrospect, if we waited in the parking lot for 10 minutes, it had been gone and we could have continued on. That was they always say about raining in Ireland. What they get over there is not what we call rain.
So you get
Yeah.
the 4 seasons in the one day.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get like these torrential downpours. And this is usually late rains, or it'll rain enough that you need a jacket or umbrella, like that it's going.
To England, when I was in when I was 19, my uncle was stationed over there, and he was like, bring raincoat, it rains every day here, and it was like, I was expecting like downpours and stuff, and I was like, it's drizzling. It's drizzling. We're not going out today. I have a sightseeing bucket list, we're going out.
That's another beautiful country as well. There's so many different.
England also has all the things with the steps,
Oh, yeah?
but then if you go around to the back of that building, there's always a ramp. And so does Germany. There was a thing that we went to in Germany, it was like a castle or something, and it had like 300 like stone steps that went up the side of it that we went up, and then we got to the top and I said to my uncle, I was like, does that sign mean that there's a tram that comes up the back, and then the whole tram bus jitney thing comes up.
Oh wow, after you walked all the steps.
Well, at the Giants Causeway, they do have a tram, but you have to pay extra for that, too.
Oh, you do, yeah?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's only €1 or something.
But you're like paying to save your knees from going up the
I'll show you that one.
steps.
Oh, that's how now, is it?
That's both of them.
Wow,
You've
that's
seen that,
amazing.
well, the littler one, the bigger one's here.
Oh, really?
Oh, now it's interesting. Cousins are at it.
See who's getting the more attention, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's all good for now.
Happy days.
Well, that's all you can do, and I do thank you for your consideration.
Oh gosh, he often pops on
All
the
things being considered, but, you know, it's a shame, rough start, but whatever. I think you and I have a probably similar philosophy, we're in somebody else's hands.
Absolutely.
A lot of other
Sometimes
stuff.
those who get a rough start at the beginning, things even out for them then later on, so.
Yeah, and,
amazed how easy it was to tap and go. We didn't get any cash, which just drives me nuts, but everything tap and go, tap and go. You want a bottle order, tap and go. It was like,
It's like even, you know those apps for like transferring money and
Mhm.
things like everybody uses them over there, and you know,
Yeah, it's
it's just so common.
yeah, and I was
I'm
like,
no, I'll just send it to you in the mail, not that that's any safer, but
well, the other thing I found different was there's like a barber shop on every corner, or on every block.
yeah, there's a lot of them actually. When you
And it's like, here you don't find them. I mean, you want the barber shop here.
yeah, barbers as opposed to just hairdressers, like.
Yes.
And they like the looks over there.
It's definitely a different lifestyle.
And they have a good variety of food and things like that. Like a lot of people think it's just like plain food, but they have a lot of good quality, like
Well, you know what?
between bacon and
I
shellfish.
can't say that we had a bad meal the whole time. You know, and naturally I wasn't like going for haggis, but in Ireland we had all, you know, quality meals and a full variety. I was kind of surprised though with it being an island that there wasn't more seafood. There's fish, but not a lot of, I would expect scallops or shrimp or.
Yeah, but that seems to me probably just be the bigger coastal towns, sort of in general.
Yeah, but so we were in Galway, coastal town. We were in,
Best fish and chips I ever had in my life, I had in Galway.
I was surprised how many different versions of fish and chips there were too.
Mhm.
But yeah, we were in several coastal towns, and then we were in Scotland. We were up to St. Andrews, and I had leek and potato soup earlier in the week when we were in Ireland. So they had steak, leek, and potato soup. It's like, it's fish.
Oh,
So it's, I guess it's Gaelic for fish.
right, fish chowder then kind of thing, was it? No?
Yeah, well, it was more of a, it was like potato leek soup with fish in it.
Did you try any of the haggis?
I did not.
No, I don't try that either.
I was surprised how many different versions of haggis there were.
Yeah.
You can get haggis fritters. You can, I mean, it's,
Yeah, that doesn't, it loses the appeal to me something. I don't think you have to think about it.
Seems like it's like 10 o'clock since it's still dark already.
They get that fall season.
We're back in session at 8:41. The executive session included discussion about personnel leaving the Public Works Department, also discussion about the litigation against the township with Kevin versus Robeson Township. So that was our executive session. Anything else before we adjourn?
Yeah, I have something that I'd like to, I'd like to just reaffirm, a motion that was made way back when, regarding emails. So, Manager Howard, we did make a motion, you weren't the manager at the time, but, a motion was made that the supervisors would receive, all emails into the township, right, for the employees. So I'd like to just reaffirm that motion and make sure that that happens, please. And that we get those emails and everybody can review them.
Yeah.
So you're reaffirming that motion?
I am reaffirming
So
that
we're not
motion.
making a motion to reaffirm, we're just reaffirming. All right, anything else before we adjourn? If anyone would like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:23.
I will do that.
Do we have a second?
Second.
No, he's just reaffirming, we're not doing much, just, we have the motion ready, he's just,
Okay.
he's just.
Stating it publicly.
He's just
Okay.
stating
Yeah,
publicly. So, a motion, have a second to adjourn?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
John, good night.
Sergeant, you say you need to place your somewhere.
Is this for me tonight? For these stuff tonight?
No, you can,
Wait, all this stuff for Tuesday?
we can do this.
Joy's, all Joy stuff.
Yes.
Where's tomorrow?
Go to work.
I was gonna say you're sleeping.
I hope I can sleep.
You can have these back, I'll stay in the township like 60 cents.
You going to work now?
Mm-hmm.
10 to 6?
Okay. So when I got there, I was probably on Thursday, and I got a couple.
Oh, really?
Somebody called off for 12 hours, so get their money.
Tuesday, so this truly Tuesday, it's not 2 times from now.
No, it is this Tuesday, yeah.
You know, October's really my
I think October is a week in between the workshop. Yeah.
See you Monday, see you Tuesday.
Maybe if you have those beers and stuff, you wanna go?
Yeah, I'll see you.
But if not, I can stop in.
Nice talking.
The rest of the battle. He didn't even close his, right, so that's their what do you call it, like, you know what I mean, like his control and all the batters that he faced was dead on, and they were just hitting, right, they were just hitting there, so they didn't want to stay. So they get a little brush back, except they got a little bit close and they got hit, right? I mean, my kid's done it already before.
I understand the game of intimidation, I understand what you can do a little bit, and I understand what reciprocates to that.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't the next game, but.
Millions, this guy's making millions now. That's possible career.
It really is.
All right, Jim.
And they knew it right away. I mean, they kicked him out, and he didn't complain, so he didn't say a word. He just walked off the mound, and that was it. So, I mean,
To me, sometimes, when a guy is.
They have to. Yeah, but if you look back and watch his